Be good. Be very good.
I want to welcome you to Dream Chasers Radio. I am your host, Yaya Diamond. What's up, peoples? How you doing? It is a great day, and we are on the air. Yes, we are on the air with an amazing person. She's gone through so much, and I have a little write up because I'm doing the thing. So I have my guest today. Her name is Kasandra Johnson. She's the author of The Struggle That Made Me, a powerful memoir, which is a powerful memoir about growing up in Oakland amid family addiction and violence, and how music, mentors, and ancestral ties has helped her to survive and heal. Cassandra's story is a testament of resilience, forgiveness. That's a big one. That
It is.
forgiveness is a big one. Yes, it is. And the transformative power of love. Welcome to the show, Cassandra. How you doing, girlfriend?
Thank you. Thank you. I'm so blessed and so thankful and so excited to be a part of this live. So thank you so much, Yaya Diamond.
Oh, no problem, no problem. So I did a little research on what they sent me because I haven't gone and I don't go any further. I don't like to pry. But you were on like Judge, was it a Judge show with who was that to you?
Yeah, so I was on Judge Mathis with
That's
my
right.
mom. Yes, yes. Me and
Mm-hmm.
my mom. Well, initially, I was doing some research on my history and my roots, and I wanted to like know the background that I come from in Africa, as far as like the tribes and different areas in Africa. I wanted to tune into it more, and I did my ancestry DNA, and I wind up finding out that I had a auntie, my mom's sister, and we went on Judge Mathis and found out that she's 99.9% my auntie, my biological auntie. So it was an amazing experience, and I was overwhelmed, but I knew that it was a purpose in that moment that I needed to meet her. So
Wow.
yeah.
Wow. So you've gone through so many different things. I want to know what not everybody is going to open up their whole, closet per se. Not that you did, but even open up a little bit to let a little bit out is kind of scary. What was it that you said, okay, forget it. I don't care what anybody says. I don't care about the criticism. I don't care about what people think. I got to do this. What was that?
It was me healing myself and allowing God to show me just my truth, speaking my truth and overcoming it, and also reflecting on how much I endured, and saying, okay, Cassandra, you are a strong person. This can be a testimony. This is a testimony for not only you, but others to say, wow, I can really get through whatever I'm going through. God has a plan, a purpose for me. So it was basically just me healing through my childhood traumas so I can become a better adult, a better mother, a better future wife, a better, everything I had to tune into to understand, okay, this is what I need to do. I need to take all of this baggage and whatever was kind of holding me back and hindering me. I need to let it go, forgive, and move forward. So that was my way of just healing, and I'm still healing. Don't get me wrong, but it was a big part of it came from my childhood trauma.
Hmm. So Oakland is like almost like a character in your memoir. I mean, I know it's a place, but it's
Yes.
like a character place. It's like it's taken on its own life, like almost like human like, which is kind of weird. Tell me, how did you do that? What was it that made you say, okay, Oakland is not just a place, it's a person, it's a character?
Yeah. Just going, I guess, growing up in the Oakland is not just it's not just Oakland. It's a lot of Oaklands in different states and cities. I had to basically, I put it like that to show the audience that this environment is something that's so addicting. It can be very addicting, and it's all around me, and it's really the people that was around me that made Oakland the way it was. Far as just being in a institutionally oppressed environment, having liquor stores on every corner, you have drug addicts, sex workers around, you have just it's chaotic in Oakland, and so it took over a part of my life that I had to touch bases on for people to even understand what I was going through in those moments of living in Oakland.
You said that it was not just, a place, but it was a circumstance. It was a
And
situation. You found yourself in the middle. Let me ask you a question. How far deep did you find yourself in the middle? I mean, I know I don't want to give away the book because I know you wrote about this in the book, but just to give the example of how deep, was it just people you saw, or was it in your family members as well?
it was both. It was around me. It was institutional far as the area, the project that I grew up in, right? Then it became interpersonal with my family members. Then I realized I was internalizing it, um, trying to fight off what was being presented to me in interpersonally, you know. So I had to be aware, okay, this leads to this leads to this, if this leads to this, if I don't that this can affect me or has an effect on me, it's my job to say, no, I want better. I want to learn. I want to live. I want to be, everything that the odds say that I'm not.
Hmm. Yeah. I mean, wow. Wow. So when you open up the book and you look through the
hmm
book, what still surprises you till this day? What is the one thing that you said just came out of left field?
It's a lot of things that came out in left field that was really raw and uncut. But one thing that stood out to me is me talking about my sexual abuse and how my mom and dad they were addicted to drugs, crack cocaine, and they tried, the hardest that they could to protect me and to supervise me. However, when somebody is sickly like that, they can't. They're in their own mind, right? It takes over. The drug takes over, so they're not really. Some anything can happen to you. You know what I'm saying? And then they thought that they were being protective due to them, monitoring me when they can or when they were sober. But the times that they were high, you know, stuff happened to me. And that really affected me. And it made me realize, even being a parent now, I have one son that, it takes a blink of an eye or a split second and something can happen to your child. So I just pray about it, and I had to really forgive my parents because I had to understand and have empathy for their sickness, for their addiction. And it made me a stronger person, and that's why I labeled it the struggle that made me. A lot of chapters in my book, it explains why how I used, because I really didn't like put anybody on blast, I would say, or if I did, it was me speaking my truth. But I've always put myself in their shoes and say, okay, well, I can understand or I can forgive this person because it's just a way of setting myself free, not holding a grudge or not feeling like a person should be accountable for my pain. I have to forgive them, forgive myself, and move past it. Not to say that I forget about it, I'm very much aware of it, but just allowing myself to say, okay, this is what I've been through, and it made me a better person, and I can identify things way easier, way faster, and it has helped me a lot in life, going through those
Yeah.
things. So,
Wow. Wow. What okay, so who influenced you not to go down that route? It's difficult. You see it all around you. You see this, you see it all around you. And even though you don't want to do it, sometimes people do fall into those pits. What helped you to stay away from that?
um, it was more so of seeing the effect in the decisions that people did make that wasn't good. I kind of steered away from it, like, oh, okay, I don't want to end up like this. I don't want to end up like this. Also, God put some amazing people in my life during the times that I grew up. It was like He knew what I needed in those moments, but it was up to me to take it in and say, okay, this is going to teach me resilience. This is going to teach me discipline. This is going to teach me structure. This is going to teach me how to be productive, how to be a hustler, how to be. It's certain people in my life, throughout my life, in my childhood, that God brought at the perfect time. And say, okay, look, I know your mama is doing bad, but she allowed me to look over you, and this is what I do. This is my routine. I work, I cook, I clean, teaching me how to be a woman, teaching me how to want more for myself, teaching me that school is the key, to educate yourself, to work, get a job, all of those things. So it was people set up in my life that God brought at the right moments, that I had to look up to and mirror and say, okay, when I grow up, I'll take this from this person. I'll take what this person taught me. I'll take what this person taught me. So it's definitely different characters as I grow up and I explain it. My godmom, it's been aunties, it's been mentors, it's been teachers, you know, people that really I took heed to and that I wanted to. So it's like that, that needle in that haystack that you like, okay, I found it. So I'm gonna use this tool when I need the tool to understand what I have to do to be better. And so that was that. And like I said, watching how, drugs affect people, mental health, dysfunction, living in a area where it was just meant for everything to fail. And I was like, no, I just knew that I wanted something more and something, that was going to allow me to grow and show my talents. I'm very gifted. I have a lot of talent, and that's a lot of African Americans or Black people. They have some amazing talents that they can offer to the world, but you have to tune into them and you have to make it a practice. At a young age, I knew that I had a thing for music. It was just something about the beat of the drum and how everything just intertwined. And then for me, it was more so like therapeutic writing and poetry, saying my feelings and how I feel. It was like I feel good after I can write in my diary or write a song or express myself. So that was my way of just letting everything out without going out there and doing something that I wasn't supposed to, or I had to tune into what I really, really was interested in, and that's my creativity. So I think a lot of people have that in them. They just get distracted, and they let a lot of time fly by, and it's like you could have been a great artist, great barber, great um painter, great writer, great, it's a lot of things that we are gifted in. So I had to tune into all my talents.
That's wonderful. That's wonderful. Do you believe like the book, your memoir,
Hmm.
was a form of getting over? And I'm not saying it was, but I'm just asking, kind of like a curious kind of curiosity in me, with the
Hmm.
abuse, with the sexual abuse, with seeing all the drugs, with your mom and your dad not being well at the time when you were growing up. Do you think it formed a little bit of a PTSD inside of you and you had to get it out because of that book? It's helping you to actually relieve yourself from that?
Definitely. Post-traumatic stress is so real. It's not just in a war. I actually was doing my research, and it's kind of like I was in a war. Certain things did trigger me and it did bother me. And I had to realize, oh, this is because that happened when I was little, or this when I hear sound or my mom yell at me a certain way, it's triggering. So I had to identify my triggers and say, okay, I'm okay. Because of that, not only do I have post traumatic stress, but I have anxiety, real bad anxiety. So I have to kind of calm myself down and breathe and say, okay, it's okay. It definitely helped me be aware of my triggers, but it's still installed in me, and that's something that I'm forever working on. It's like it is like when a veteran comes from the war, and like for instance, the 4th of July, they hear all of those booms and blooms, and they think they back in the war. It's the same thing.
Mhm.
Um, Hearing gunshots every night, hearing people fighting at 3 o'clock in the morning, even hearing a lighter flick or a match flick, anything like that, it will trigger me.
Mm.
When I hear somebody say a certain like verbiage or use a certain verbiage, it'd be like, oh, okay, it's triggering. So I'm glad you asked that question, because it does occur and it does happen, and you have to understand those triggers and know that you're okay, but you're always kind of aware that something might happen.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow. Wow. That's revolutionary right there. That says it all. And you're right. I mean, those things are embedded. Very hard to get rid of, if at all. It's always
Yeah.
going to be a trigger, and you have to know, wow, wow. So, people that are reading this book, or a person that reads this book, what do you want them to get from your memoir?
I want them to get a lot of things, but for the most part, I initially wrote the book for my own healing. So I hope people can find how to tackle that. It takes a long time, and I'm speaking personally for me. It took me a long time to even have the courage to speak my truth. So I knew that I was chosen by God when I decided to write this book, because it's bigger than me. Yes, it is personal, but it's millions of Cassandra Johnsons out there. It's millions of the people that I talk about, my family dynamics, my brothers, because I have 5 brothers, my brothers, my mom, my dad, my aunties, teachers, mentors. It's so many of them in this Black community, and you can see yourself in the book. It's just, you can relate to it. You can read it and say, "Oh, I remember this. I remember when I had to do this, or when I felt like this, or wow, she really said how she felt and not held back." Because I wanted people to be in those moments with me. I had to, and I don't think people really understand what it takes to write an autobiography about your life, especially if it was traumatic. You have to put yourself back in those moments and reflect and feel it, and it's a lot. It could take a lot out of you. It took me 3 weeks to just write a draft of this book. It was so, everything I had to, it was like chapter by chapter I had to relive, and I had to be alone. My whole family, I was telling, like, look, I'm writing this book and I need my space. I need my time, and when they seen it, they knew that I was going through something that I never went through before in life. It was
Mm.
like, it was a spiritual awakening, and it was just something that came over me, and I just was so determined to get it out. And it's crazy because that whole 3 weeks, I would isolate myself because I knew emotionally everything was a trigger for me. So when I say we could be eating dinner and my mom would say something, and I would just kind of go off like, that's why this happened, and that's why, it's back to slavery, and it's like I would just, everything was so, it was so intimate to me. It made me feel like, okay, I just understood things so clear, and this is why this happened. And so I can say, this has been going on for so long, and we got to change. We have to do something. Or if you don't, because you can't change anybody, but what you can do is say, okay, because I'm aware of this, I'm going to move the way I need to move to heal. And it looks like I'm going through a lot, but I'm really processing everything. And so those 3 weeks was a lot, not only for me, but for my family. But they knew that I was going through a lot. I mean, I would cry because I would have to relive things. I would have uncomfortable conversations with family members and my mom and my dad. And I really couldn't care about if they took accountability or not. I knew what happened. At the end of the day, I just needed to let it out and say, hey, this happened to me, this affected me, and I forgive you. Whether you have, can take accountability or not, I forgive you no matter what. And so it's been really hard, just putting the book out based off of my truth. My truth don't look like everybody else's truth. So
Yeah.
with my family, especially because a lot of my family aren't ready to accept anything. So I had to be the one to really stand up and say, whether it's not true to you, I know that I've been through this, and I know what I needed to do to heal myself. While a lot of people are still stuck at that 13-year-old little boy, that 12-year-old little girl, that 8-year-old. I don't want to be an adult kid. I want to be an adult. I don't want to throw tantrums and be set in my ways if they're not healthy and toxic. I want to live on. And also, I have a son. I don't want to pass none of that down to him if I can help it. I want to be aware and know what I'm doing, and know that I'm raising a young, independent young male. So it's a lot of things that I was just aware of. And in the Black community, we like to laugh it off, and it's like it's not serious, but it is serious. We really need help. We really need to go to therapy. We really need to keep our minds healthy, because mental health is real. It is so real, and it can affect you in a way that can kill you. People have strokes, people have heart attacks, people turn to drugs. And it's like we're stronger than that, so tune into who you really are, and not try to cope with it with drugs and alcohol, and just not being productive, because that's what people want. People want us to stay down. They don't want us to be educated. They don't want us to understand ourselves and our history. So
Well,
it's deep. Yeah, it's
it's
deep.
deep. It's deep. It's real deep. It's real deep. And I want to thank you so much for opening up, and for being that open book, and you writing your book. And it's called, again, The Struggle That Made Me a Powerful Memoir. That's what it is. The Struggle That Made Me a Powerful Memoir. And my gosh. I mean, girl, it's hard to do that.
It
It's
is.
not easy. It's something that some people just want to leave in the closet, per se. They just want to close the closet. They don't want. But what was it like for you, to open the closet and let it out? I mean, that's that. I mean, I understand what you went through. I understand that, but just the psychological moment. What was that like when it all flooded out? I know you had to relive it, but there is
Yeah,
also an underlying feeling that you have when you do that. What was that?
it was hurt. It was pain. It was anger. Um, it was not easy to unpack that. It was not. And I do get why people don't want to do that, because it's easier to just pack it up, put it in the back of your head, never forget about it, than to open the closet and let all of them demons out, you know. Um it was very tough for me, but it was something that was well needed, because I had to prepare myself spiritually, emotionally, and mentally for it. It was something that you have to get ready for. It's not like, let me just do this. No, you have to have spiritual support. So whatever religion you practice, you need to be in tune with that. You need to understand that, yeah, this is going to be hard, but if you want a better lifestyle for yourself, in a way of thinking for yourself, it's necessary. And in my case, I wanted to do it for me, but like I said, I have a son. So once I start seeing my baby, I'm raising them. It's not no rule books to being a parent. You just kind
No.
of just go with the flow. But I do know how I was raised, and I know some of the things was not okay. And I was strong enough, I was mentally strong enough to understand that I didn't want that. And so being a mom is like, okay, how do I prevent that? And it was more so having to tune in to who I am and who I wanted to be, not what I've been through. Of course, we all been through some things, but I knew that if I was holding all of that in, eventually some of the ways that I had would rub off on my son. I was like, nah, I'm gonna have to break it. And breaking a cycle, a generational cycle, is one of the toughest things. It's gonna take all my lifetime. I'm gonna be the one to change it. Like, you know what? It's a lifestyle. You have to be aware, constantly aware. And I know that I'm chosen by God, because he only chooses his strongest soldiers to take up his battles. So once you understand it, you say, okay, God, I can handle this, because a lot of people can't. So because I understand that he chose me, I'm honored. and it's not a tough fight. I mean, it's not an easy fight. I'm sorry, it's really tough. So
So
yeah,
what do you see in the future now that this is, I know this will never be behind you because this was your life. This is always in the forefront, but in the back, in the rear view mirror, there is a book. Is
yeah,
there a book in the future for you?
definitely. So towards the end of my book, because my book was from when I was a baby until I was 16 years old. My younger brother, he had got shot 14 times, and that's at the end of the book. And I did that on purpose because it was a whole nother level of pain I endured after him getting shot. It was a mistaken identity. He was only 14 years old, walking from his friend's house to our house in West Oakland. And that that impacted me, not only me, my whole family. It was just like seeing him in a puddle of blood waiting on the ambulance. The ambulance couldn't come because they said it was like a hazard or something like that. They don't know if it was any gunmen still in the area. So if he would have got hit in any vital organs, he would have died, but God definitely saved him and gave him another chance, and he has is his own testimony, and I'm really thankful that he's living. But being in those moments, seeing my little brother at 16 years old shot 10 times, um, it put a whole another level of pain that I had to write a whole nother book about from 16 maybe to like 24. So
You
I
had
didn't want, mhm.
you had two brothers that got shot?
No, one brother got shot.
One brother got shot. Okay. Oh my
Yeah,
God.
yeah. And it's funny because it's not funny, but I'm
I know
saying
what
how
you mean by
God
funny.
works.
I got it. I understand it. Ironic, or
Yeah, it
it's
is.
really ridiculous that
It
it's, yeah.
definitely. But we took that far as his siblings, and we wanted to be more. It made us stronger. It made us understand each other more. It made us love each other harder. It made us cherish each other, harder. I had to I already was dealing with a lot, but I had to grow up. I mean, when I say grow up, I had to be a nurturer, provider, all of that at 16 years old. I had to step my game all the way up. It wasn't about me. I didn't have a teenage life. It was me taking care of my brother, letting him know that I love you, I got you, we're going to get through this. They said that he wouldn't even make it to live. They said that he was going to be a vegetable. And so for him to be walking with crutches to this day, it's amazing. It's definitely a blessing, and he's very, like, God chose him for sure. My So that was my second youngest brother. The baby, though, he was 10 at the time. My youngest brother, he was 10, and it affected him in a way because my brother that had got shot, he played basketball. And so when that happened, it kind of, he was depressed. He thought he would never play basketball again. So my baby brother took his role, and he just kept practicing, put all his energy into practicing, and went to AAU, went to college, played professional basketball. Now he's in the NBA. His name is Kasandra Johnson. He played for the Miami Heat. So it's
Sweetness. That is wonderful. That is what
yeah,
it's good to see. It's good to see that, some people are strong enough to make it out, but that's not everybody's story.
no,
But that's your story. And I'm
yes.
happy it is. And I'm happy it is. Wow. Are there any questions that you've always wanted to answer, or did we miss anything during the interview today?
Um, no, I mean, I just like how organically it happened. It was kind of just allowing me to just
Finally.
speak my truth.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I can't really think of anything, but what I can say, and I have to, because um I don't have to, but because I care about my family, I want to let them know that it was nothing personal against you guys. It was something for me and my healing. And if I said something, that you didn't want out or didn't want to say, because before this book came out, I told everybody that I was going to put out the book, and a lot of people didn't believe me. And so when it came out, no, before it came out, I asked everybody, please help me with edits, revisions, and just whatever you feel that is too much. If I'm involving you, you can tell me, and I didn't have to do that, but I wanted to do that just to get my family involved in understanding what my healing would look like for me. And I mean, they bypassed it. A lot of them bypassed it. It was only a certain few that really helped and really read it and helped me, and I fixed some things and changed some things. But some of my immediate family, they're like, why you say this about me? And I wasn't like that. You made me the villain instead of congratulating me on actually getting out my truth, and like I said, it makes me look at it as a whole. Okay, you're not ready, because if you were ready, you would understand that that's not you anymore, and you have grown
Yeah.
so much, and you would want people to see how much you have endured and say, look, I came a long way and I'm proud of myself. I'm happy. Because my brother is in the NBA, it was a lot of backlash on me saying, oh, TMZ might get a hold of this. Well, let him get a hold of it. I mean, I think for me, that's very, we're a strong unit to even overcome this. It's not a lot
Yeah.
of people that makes it out of
No.
the hood or out of, so for
No.
me, it was like, I'm proud of where we came from. A lot of my family are shameful, they're guilty, and that's not my problem. That's not my problem. This is my story. This is how I want to express my life. And if you want to hold that against me, let it be. But I know that they're not ready. And they may never be ready, and that's okay. But I know that I have done enough work right now to say, I don't care if y'all talk about my mom being a crackhead. I don't care if y'all talking about me when I was, we was out there and had to fend for ourselves. My mama had to make $3 meals for us. It was a lot. But guess what? I'm better. That's not where won't go there no more. And I'm elevating my life, and I'm humble. And I can say I've been there, and I can relate to so many people that think that they're alone and they're not. You guys definitely can do it. So that was definitely on my heart to say, is for my family that feel like I told the family business and you want to sweep it under the rug and you only want to show the good. Sometimes you have to reveal the bad for them to understand how much you actually been through and how much you fought to even make it where you're at right now. And so, you know, a lot of my family has something against me for putting out this book, yeah. And I can just wish them the best and pray for them, but know that this what comes with being a author. This what comes with, speaking your truth. Everybody is not going to like it. Everybody is not going to love it. But as long as I know that I got what I needed from it, that's all that matters. And I will touch a lot of people, a lot of people will look at it and say, wow, you really been through some things. I really can relate. Instead of pointing out all of the little miscellaneous bad things that I said about you. Get over it. Like that's for
Yeah.
for me. I'm not them, they're not me. But I'm at a place where I can have uncomfortable conversations and be all right.
Yeah. I got you. I got you. That is wonderful. And you're right. No one is the same as they were yesterday. We're talking
Right.
years ago. And so they've grown, I'm sure, and they've matured, I'm sure. And the things that happened in the past. Sometimes people can't get over the past.
Right.
And so you writing this book literally shows them that you're moving on when
Yes.
they haven't yet moved on. That's all. They've grown, but they're not the same. But physically they've grown. Mentally, they're still kind of trying to, compartmentalize, was it compartmentalize the past, compartmentalize, I should say.
Yeah,
The past.
compartmentalize.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's hard for some people. Hard for some people to open that door and let all those secrets out and let all that stuff out that happened so far in the past. I'm no longer that person. They're no longer that person, but they just can't seem to get over what that person did.
Right.
And that's, unfortunate. That's unfortunate. But for you, this was your part of your healing, part of your journey. And I do hope that in the future, one day, they will see that and they will be able to get over that as well.
Yes, me too.
Yeah, definitely. And if TMZ has anything to say about it, let them say how you guys overcame and that
Yes.
you guys came from a moment of just desperation. And it could have gone either way, but it didn't.
Right.
But it, but it didn't. And that's the story. That's the story. And that's the truth. Man, I tell you, thank you so much for being on the show.
You're
Thank
so welcome. It was an honor to be here and speak my truth. I really appreciate just I love how you do the interviews because it just flows organically, and that's what I need. I need when I'm thinking about something and something is on my heart to say, just let it come out, and you make me so comfortable because like I said, I have anxiety. So interviews and stuff, I'll be like, but I really feel comfortable with you. So thank you for that.
Thank you. And when you write your new book, you have to come back on. But yeah, it's just a conversation and it's helping other people and it's helping you in the process. Getting it all out is great, and having a comfortable environment to do that in is just someplace like that's what I do. That's what I want. I want people to feel comfortable when they're talking to me because we need to make sure it is organic, it is natural, and bringing that out of the person instead of being robotic and answering questions, it's
Right.
it's real, and that's what means the most to me, and I think it means the most to our listeners, our viewers too. So I appreciate it. And I appreciate what you said about it made you feel good. I'm glad. I'm very happy. Yay. I'm
And
glad. So you guys, I'm going to go ahead and put the link in for the book in the description box, but it is called The Struggle That Made Me, a Powerful Memoir. And let me tell you something. Everyone has a journey. Are you willing to open the door and let people see it?
right.
If you're willing to get over who you were, to embrace who you are, and look forward to who you will be, then I think that that should be something that you might want to consider. Thank you guys so much for tuning in, and thank you, Cassandra, for being on the show. I appreciate it again.
Thank you so much, Yaya.
Thank you. And until next time, guys, don't forget to dare to be different. Bye. Thank you for watching.